Welcome to Finsight Daily. We're diving into the US economic releases coming up from April to June 2025. So, first off, the Q1 GDP report on April 30th. It's like the heartbeat of the economy,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Right. Seeing strong GDP growth could really boost market confidence, especially for equities and even crypto. It's such a big deal.
Absolutely. And then on the same day, we're also getting the personal income and outlays report. This one's super interesting. It tells us about household incomes and spending habits.
For sure. Yeah, because if consumers' income is growing steadily, that bodes well for spending, which drives everything else. But what if spending gets fueled by, mounting debt?
That's a good point. If spending is more about credit than actual income increases, it could hint at some underlying financial stress later on.
Yeah.
Moving on, there's the International Trade Report also coming on April 30th. It's critical in showing how much the US is importing versus exporting.
Right, I see it. And a significant trade deficit here might really put pressure on the dollar, right? That could spark, debates over tariff policies and even impact crypto prices.
Exactly. And then in May, on the 29th, we get the second estimate of Q1 GDP. This one refines the picture with more data. It's almost like a reality check on the initial report.
Yeah, that can really shift market expectations. But aren't there times when the second estimate could contradict the first, causing some investor anxiety?
Definitely. Any downward revisions could dampen investor optimism, even if the first report was promising. Then, don't forget the personal income and outlays for April, coming on May 30th. This continues to give insight into consumer spending.
Tracking these trends is key. And if income keeps outpacing spending, that steady growth would be super supportive for the markets, right? But if spending spikes, well, that's a red flag.
Exactly, it's a balance. If spending jumps too high relative to income, it could signal that consumers are overextending.
Indeed.
Then in June, on the 5th, the annual update on international trade comes out, providing a broader perspective on our global trade relationships.
Right, that's crucial given today's shifting trade policies. It really could shed light on how competitive the US remains on the world stage. Though I sometimes wonder if this report might be overhyped, since trade dynamics are so multifaceted.
That's a fair challenge. I mean, while it's vital, there are so many variables at play that one report might not capture everything. Then looking at June 24th, we see the US international transactions data, which dives deep into, capital flows and foreign investment, key factors for measuring investor sentiment.
Yes, a surge in investments could really signal international confidence. And finally, to wrap up Q1, on June 26th, the third GDP estimate and corporate profits update appears. This is a potential game changer. Upward revisions can really push markets higher.
Exactly. This final figure is like the final puzzle piece of Q1. Any strong corporate profits coupled with stable GDP can generate a huge market rally, whereas weaker numbers might lead to a more cautious outlook.
Right. All in all, these upcoming releases, from GDP to trade data, will definitely set the stage for market moves in the coming months. It's an exciting, fast-paced period ahead for both finance and crypto.